Megan thinks that I tend to go for the joke rather than the truth when I'm in a conversation, and that's because I'm afraid of her.
Not true.
My name is Craig Ferguson. I am a stand-up comedian, an actor, a writer, and a talk show host.
Darling.
I'm also the husband of a very beautiful and clever woman called Megan Ferguson.
Max?
She is my best friend and the love of my life.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we agree on everything. I sometimes wonder if we agree on anything.
It's not like you say, oh, that guy's a
Psychopathy? You can't say, oh,
you don't say
psychopathy.
he's a psychopath.
13 years ago, we started a conversation, and it has never stopped.
Still going?
Yeah, I just think you're wrong.
Oh.
Yes.
Sometimes it stops for a bit, you know, for sleeping.
In this program, we try really hard to get new perspectives on our discussions.
Food is the new internet. You'll make it plenty of money.
The universe is alive within us.
Whoa, this is magical.
We reach our conclusions by getting the facts straight from the horse's mouth. And by horse's mouth, I mean experts, not an actual horse.
Hi.
Obviously.
Do you think we'll have to leave soon?
Nah. Kids don't get out for another half an hour.
No. That's not what I mean.
What?
I mean, like, Earth, planet. Planet Earth, even.
What the hell would we want to leave Earth for?
Well, if humans are destroying it at the speed they are, and they are.
I know. I think we're okay for a while, yeah.
Yeah, but what about our grandchildren, great-grandchildren?
Science will find a way. When I was a kid, there were two great scientists that were communicators that changed my life and the way I viewed the world. One was Jacques Cousteau, the other was Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan was the direct mentor of Neil deGrasse Tyson. So to me, Neil deGrasse Tyson is the great scientific communicator of this generation.
Think there's somebody we can talk to about this?
Yeah, I'm almost certain there is.
Ain't no something, no more trying hard is free. I ain't on fire, dancing on the sidewalk,
What was the chicken and the egg?
Chicken and the egg, yeah, it's very important,
Yeah.
especially to me, because you know how I feel about
Chickens, you love chickens.
Yes.
And then there's the, I get depressed because the universe is so big.
It's so big, and
too
what's
big.
our place in it?
It's too big.
Right.
So I'm not going to start off with the chicken and the egg
Well,
thing.
yeah, I mean,
These
that
are
means a lot to
renowned,
me.
you know, scientists. You
Yeah,
don't
but
start
it's a
with the
good
chicken and the egg.
question.
All right, I'm a
All
bit
right.
nervous.
Yeah, well, so am I.
All right, okay, don't embarrass
Be
me.
cool.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm
Hello,
Craig Ferguson.
hello.
This is my wife,
Hello.
Megan.
Hello.
We have some questions about the nature of the universe.
How much time you have?
I don't know. That's one of the questions.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is an American astrophysicist, author, and science communicator. And man, can he communicate. It's not just the amazing things he tells you, it's the way he says them. Hypnotizing. As an intellectual descendant of the late, great Carl Sagan, he's the go-to person when you want to know more about the nature of our universe. Should we boldly go where no man has gone before and explore new worlds? But maybe we don't have the luxury to choose. Maybe we have to leave this planet. And if so, when should we start packing?
Let's do this.
Where are we going? Space?
We are going to the best approximation of space that the surface of the Earth can provide. Welcome.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think, is a man who is able to inspire people, and I include me in this, people who don't have the technical knowledge of what he's talking about, but he can fill them with the awe of the science. And I think that's why it's extremely important to me to talk to him.
All right.
Sound big.
Bring on the universe.
Here's what I know about space. It's big, and it's called space because most of it is that. It's like cheese is called cheese because most of it is cheese, even when there's tiny little holes in it. And that's what space is, except there's tiny little holes in it. Space is cheese, is what I'm saying.
You know, Neil, I always think you must be like a dermatologist on a golf course.
I have no idea what that means.
I'll tell you what I mean. It's like everybody coming up and saying, I've got a question. Excuse me, Mr. deGrasse Tyson, I have a question.
Oh.
Did people do that to you all the time?
In the old days, when they learned I was an astrophysicist, then they'd pull out all the questions they've been harboring
Right.
their
Right.
entire life. Are there aliens? What was around before the beginning? Is there God? In that context, I'm a servant of their curiosity, right? And I'm just feeding them because they're really aiming for the universe, and I happen to be along the way to help. But lately, you know, there's enough of a sort of celebrity dimension, so people will say, oh, can we take a selfie? And I feel like I've failed as an educator every time someone asks me, can they take a selfie? Because that meant somehow I became the destination of their interest.
Interesting.
And I was originally worried about that, and then someone explained it to me. The people who just want the selfie never would have wanted a selfie with a scientist at all. So that itself is saying something. Here I am complaining that they're not asking me about the universe when they never even knew a scientist before.
Right.
And if the most they can come up with in the moment is, can I have a picture with you so that I can show other people I met a scientist, you gotta let that one.
But then that opens the door to then they will Google you and watch.
Do you think that there is an impending endarkenment? Are people getting a little bit more proud of their stupidity than they used to be?
I want to say yes, but I don't believe it.
Oh, well, then don't.
No, because it feels like the answer is yes. But
Right.
I think what may actually be happening is the people who say regressive things, it's like they're sure the Earth is flat. I think what's happened is the internet has allowed that person to find every other person in the world who thinks the same way.
Right.
Right.
And then this gives the illusion of affirmation of some truth when it's completely false. Pre-internet, these would be isolated people around the world.
Right.
So I'm not entirely convinced that it's on the rise. It's just getting more organized.
Well, but what about, I mean, the United States right now has an administration which has climate denial as policy. That seems a little bit like an endarkenment to me. You know, I mean, it's like resistance to knowledge. It's like fake news, I guess.
So what'll happen is the United States will simply fade. We're already fading. So we'll fade. And the fading it's not a cliff edge. It's all of a sudden Europe and Asia have a meeting and we're not invited. Or they decide on something that doesn't include us, because we're no longer relevant to that progress. If you look at the history of things, the history of thought, the history of innovation, countries, nations, cultures have risen and fallen, pivoting on the enlightenment of their leadership.
Right.
So it hits Americans hard, those who were around when we went to the moon and walked on the moon and invented computers and
Why I became
the
an
internet.
American.
So it hits hard, but as a scientist, I can tell you, if the United States doesn't do it and there are other enlightened countries out there, they'll do it. But you could say to Trump, you're this, you're that, get out. But then there's the 60 million people who voted for him.
Right.
They are fellow citizens. They voted for their candidate. So you can get rid of him, but there's still the matter of the 60 million in the electorate. And so as an educator, I say to myself, I want to educate the public.
Right.
So that they will not vote in ways that don't serve their own interest, that they can vote in a way that they can think about the future with the same weight or more weight than they think about the present, because we live through time. Then when you get it, that may deeply influence who you elect as who represents you.
How does it leave you personally at this point? You're quite fearless in your look at your surroundings. You take a scientific look at your environment, whether it's, you know, here in this room.
You can call
or...
it scientific, which it is, but I would also say it's a childlike view.
Is that what good science is?
Yes, because when you're a kid, between age about 0 and 3, their curiosity, 3/4 of the time, will kill them.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, what is this ledge on this cliff? Or what is this
Right.
sharp thing you're calling a knife? What is it? Will kill them. That's how curious they are.
Right.
But at some point, all that's beaten out of us. In school, we only think of knowledge. Let me unzip your head and pour knowledge in. And then give it back to me on a test, and then you've done well. Where's the analysis? Where is the interpretation?
Socratic method of it,
Where is
yeah.
that interaction
Right.
with that knowledge? That is the expression of curiosity. And if people came out of school curious, you picture this in your head. Last day of school, senior year of high school. You run down the steps, I've seen people do, throw their notes into the air. School's out, forever. There's a celebration of that, and I ask, why?
Why?
Your only job was to learn, and now you're celebrating not learning. Something was missing in that educational experience. I want to see a world where it's the last day of school and people are sad because they don't want to go 3 months without learning. They want to continue their time in the class. Something has to change with the entire outlook of how we think about education. And then we have curious adults. And then something
Right.
weird happens on the internet, fake news, you'll say, gee, I wonder if that's really true. Let me check.
Right.
I mean,
That's
Let me have a
the
look.
thing. That's the
I'm
thing.
trying to
Check. Check. You gotta check it.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And
right.
what is the manifestation of that? What is the source of that? It is the curiosity that you have retained from childhood that
Right.
makes you explore what people say and how and why they say it.
I love it.
It's that simple.
What skill set do you think that, children would need if they were to have to leave Earth?
Well, what skill sets do they already get?
Well,
Music lessons?
piano lessons.
Perfect. Like, when people get to the new planet, they're going to need to be welcomed in the lobby like it's a hotel. Welcome
Planet
to
with a
Mars.
view. Little martini.
Look, first of all, I don't know if we have to leave the planet. I think, let's just wait and see a little bit. I'm certainly not leaving today. But if we as a species have come to the point where we actually have to leave this planet, first of all, shame on us. And secondly, I don't want to go.
But, in all seriousness, do you think we'll have to prepare the children to leave this planet?
No, we don't have to prepare the kids. Preparing 100 years in advance for the space travel of your descendants is not preparing, it's control freak.
All right, I can accept that.
Right, good.
Who are the types of people that would go? Because there are, people that are more open to that sort of stuff.
Snowboarders would go.
Snowboarders would go.
Snowboarders would
So
go.
they're
yeah.
aggressive,
They'd be like,
knock
yeah,
you
yeah.
over.
They'd knock you out
Oh
of the way.
man, I'm just gonna do
I'm
this
really feeling it.
ollie
Yeah,
out of a half pipe
Snowboarders, yeah.
onto another planet.
Let's name this planet Awesome. Woo! Are you an advocate that we should go there, like go out into space? That's where we should be headed? Or should we be trying to clean up the mess where we live right now?
Why is it either or?
Well,
Let's do both.
yes, that's
I'm
true.
not an
but
either or guy.
Right.
It's the argument that many have made, including Stephen Hawking and other big thinkers that are out there. We got to put our eggs in more than one basket.
Right.
So we have to do both.
Well, that's what they're saying, but I have a contrarian view.
Uh-oh.
I'm saying, sure, do it, but for different reasons. They want to do it to protect the species. And I'm saying, if you split humanity into 2 planets and an asteroid's coming towards one planet, is the other planet just going to wait around and say, okay, bye, nice knowing you?
Yeah.
No, you're going to try to save the planet.
Right.
And I'm saying to you, whatever it takes to terraform Mars, ship 1 billion people there. Whatever effort that is, that's got to be more effort than deflecting the asteroid. Just think about that. And if you have the power of geoengineering to turn Mars into Earth, then you have the power to turn Earth back into Earth.
Right, that's what I
So,
think, yes.
so the
Right.
argument that let's put other people on other planets to save our species, I'm just less convinced of that need for the reasons given.
But let me ask you, if, let's say for the sake of argument or the sake of discussion, no argument, our children will be the generation that has to depart this, or their children maybe.
The Mars generation.
Right. What should we be
Okay.
teaching them to go forth into space?
There is nothing you can teach them because they will be discovering it on their own.
Right.
We come from a generation that stopped our moving frontier of exploration at the moon. We have not been out of low Earth orbit in 45 years.
But what about Voyager and what about
Wait,
the-
I'm talking about me. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
But
Yeah,
is that-
of course
is that
we sent
important?
hardware. I love me. Nobody doesn't love Voyager.
Right.
We love me some Voyager.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Voyager left the solar system.
Yes.
It's crossed the boundary and is out in interstellar space.
Yeah.
It is the farthest hunk of hardware we've ever sent anywhere. More power to it. That's a different exercise.
What would happen if Voyager's found by a species out there?
So
Living
that
form.
spacecraft was designed to be found by aliens. On the cover are pictograms indicating where our solar system is in the galaxy.
Is this wise? Is it wise to let aliens know where we are? I mean,
All right,
you know.
so for me, the jury's out on that because I could see it both ways. So I think it's great. Let them know. Maybe they'll come help us and save us from ourselves. The other side of it is, it's like they're going to come and suck our brains out. And
Right,
just
right.
completely
Something
dominate us.
scary and awful.
All right, something scary and awful. And I would ask, why do you think they would behave that way?
Well, that's always what I think.
know why
Like-
you think they'll behave that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we behave that way.
Aliens are like that.
Okay?
Exactly.
We behave that way with our own species.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a thought that I have. I lose sleep over this.
Okay.
Suppose there was an alien civilization that didn't have our 5 senses but had 5 other senses.
Okay.
What would that civilization look like? It would have things that we could not relate to at all because our senses have no access to it. Just think about that. That's a stunning fact.
What if, like, the funniest thing for an alien species was hurting us? What if that was like their best joke?
Sounds like those Japanese game shows. Have you ever seen
Yeah,
those?
yeah, yeah,
You just
but-
get like smacked in the nuts, and they're all like, "Oh!" and you really don't know what happened.
We're not saying that Koreans and Japanese people are aliens, though.
No. I was just saying, different senses of humor exist here too.
Oh, right,
Comma
right.
Craig.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Just checking.
Such a pain.
What if we were kept as pets?
By aliens?
I'm just saying, I have a very active imagination.
If the aliens make us their pets, then I'm gonna shit everywhere on that spaceship. Just like the dogs do in our house. I'm gonna
They don't
I'm gonna
do it in
look
the
them right
house.
in all of their eyes and just like take a dump. Right
like
in this,
a baby.
And they'll be like, "What? What are you doing on our spaceship? Why?" And I'll be like, "You know why. Where's my treats?" I'm in two minds about aliens. Maybe they don't care a whit for our social mores. Maybe they're like, yeah, just like move this planet out of the way. Let's just move it out of the way. And we'll put some nice, shelves up here.
So if we go and cultivate and inhabit another planet, would we become a different species?
If you want to send a colony to another planet
Right.
and then cut off all contact, then you just diverge at that point.
Right.
Right.
That's why the animals in Australia are so different.
Right.
It's an indication of how long ago the Australian landmass separated from the rest of the land in the world.
Right.
So that they just went on their own evolutionary paths. And so none of them resemble anything else in the rest of the world. So if we send part of us to Mars
Right.
and you cut that off and come back in 1,000,000 years, we're going to be some different situations.
As another species.
Yeah,
You think-
basically.
Let me ask you about this. Like, I've been reading astrophysics for people in a hurry.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Which is
I've heard of that book.
It's a very good book. But here's the thing. You use the word about the probability of all of this perhaps being a simulation, which fascinates me because I don't understand.
Oh, no, it's
Yes.
really easy to
Why
understand.
that
Okay,
way?
then,
Okay.
Yeah, this
please.
one, now, I don't know if I should tell you, because then you're not going to get to sleep. You're going to call me up and blame me for, you know.
I'll be calling. Yeah.
All right, so here it is. As our computing power grows, our ability to simulate a world in that computer becomes more and more refined. That would make sense.
Yes.
You have higher computing capacity, calculation capacity, storage capacity of data. And let's take the simple video game Mario.
Okay.
He's a character and runs and he jumps, and if he comes off a cliff, he can scurry and then come back on the cliff. If you were in that game and you're a scientist, you would start decoding the laws of physics that operate in that world. Now imagine we program a computer with such power that we give the characters in it their own sense of free will. So now they'll have scientists among them and decode the laws of physics that are in their world. And they say, oh, with these laws of physics, we can invent computers. So they've invented a computer and then create a world within their computer. Then it's simulations all the way down. If I now throw a dart, which universe do I land in? The one genuine universe, or the countless nested universes that are simulations within the one that came before? Chances are I'm going to be in this supply. So if that's the case, who are we to say that we have not been completely simulated in some intelligent alien's computer model? Some alien kid in his parents' basement, okay?
Okay.
Who are we to say that we are not living in some simulation where we are discovering laws of physics that this kid just programmed into it billions of years ago?
Is that really what you think?
I cannot exclude that possibility.
Doesn't the theory of relativity disprove that?
No,
Yeah.
it's just in the mix of the laws of physics in the universe created by the kid in the basement.
So if the kid puts in E equals MC squared,
There
where
it
the...
There it is.
And that's it. That's
That's
all.
And it would account for why the laws of physics are universal. I cannot rule that out. I wish I could, but I can't.
I wish you could,
So-
too. I wish you could rule that out.
There are some...
The trouble I have with astrophysics or quantum mechanics is the same problem I have with philosophy, which is initially it is mind-blowing, then it is fascinating, then it is disturbing, then it is almost incomprehensible, then it's fascinating again, then you disappear up your own ass. But if you look at the idea that that's a simulation, then there has to be an initial point.
We have to go back up to the real
Chicken
universe.
or the egg?
No,
Where are we?
actually, no, we got the chicken and the egg thing done.
Well, I have chickens, so I don't know.
You own chickens?
I do,
I
12.
would not have guessed that.
Really? I love chickens.
So the egg came first.
Okay.
It was laid by a bird that was not a chicken.
I can't think of a world without chickens.
I can't believe you brought up the chicken and the egg thing. You said you had chickens.
I've got chickens, Neil.
That's wonderful. Chickens are part of the tapestry of the
But
universe.
it surprised him. He guessed wrong.
Well,
He
it
wouldn't-
surprised him that somebody
When
would come
I
up
bring
to
up
the
chicken.
world's one of the most prominent astrophysicists in the world and say, "Hi, Neil, I've got chickens." You damn fool.
So what was around before the beginning? We don't know. But we have top people working on it.
That's why I think science is not a religion, is because you
Yes.
just said
Yeah.
we don't know.
We don't know.
That's the fun part.
Right.
We have learned, unlike so many sectors of the world, we have learned to love the questions themselves. Therein is the soul of curiosity. Therein is the foundation of wonder. Without it, we're just plodding through life.
I think that's fascinating.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Science is one of those things that doesn't care whether you believe in it or not. It is. There is some kind of notion that science is trying to sell you some kind of belief system, and it's not selling you a belief system. Science isn't selling you a belief system. Science is telling you the perceived truth of the situation.
Science literacy is inoculation against those who are full of shit.
You know, I think it is important to always ask questions, but there's no point in asking questions to the wrong people. You know, I think sometimes people think, oh, that churchman is very wise. Let me ask him questions about physics. That doesn't make any sense. You don't go to the hardware store for milk, right? And you don't go to the theologian for science.
I just wanted to talk to you briefly about the idea of dealing emotionally with the study of astrophysics. I know the tiniest little amount of astrophysics.
And it's messing with you.
And it's
yes.
well, it's
and
making
it has
me depressed.
An effect,
yeah.
Then you do feel so tiny and insignificant.
Now, I would
how do you battle
say
that?
you feel insignificant because you entered the room with an unjustifiably too high ego to begin with.
It's been said that about me. That's been said about me before.
If instead you enter the room with no ego at all, then all of this knowledge is uplifting in the following way. What is ego if not, I am different from you in this particular way, and therefore that makes me better?
Right.
Well, the cosmic perspective shows that you're the same.
Yeah.
We have 40% DNA identical with a yeast cell. When you realize that, you come to the conclusion and the recognition we're not separate and distinct from the biosphere. We are participants in this great unfolding story of life. Can that itself be uplifting? For me, it is. When I learn that I am the same as the trees, as the grass, as the other animals in this biosphere held by Earth. I'm not separate and apart from them. I'm the same. I am uplifted because I am the same, not because I'm different. The atoms of your body are traceable to stars that manufactured them in the core, in the crucibles of the thermonuclear fusion inside the cores of stars. And these stars exploded, scattered these elements across the galaxy into the next generation gas clouds that then collapsed, formed star systems with ingredients that can now make planets, with planets that now have ingredients that can now make life. We are alive in this universe. And because our atoms are traceable to the universe itself, the universe is alive within us. You are special, not because you're different from the universe. You are special because you are the same as the universe. To me, that borders on spiritual. We are not figuratively, but literally stardust.
That's beautiful. Don't you think it was lovely what Neil said about we are all stardust? Everything around us is energy. Your energy, I am energy. If our energy is then put back into this planet, maybe we are helping it along. You know, when our physical form goes. What do you think?
I think the way I felt right at the beginning, which is be very nice to go and look at other planets and stuff, but we really, really, really have to fix this one. You're not going anywhere until you've tidied your room.
Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't it be both at the same time?
Because I know. They won't tidy. No, they won't tidy.